Welcome to Trending Update USA. This is Steffan, and today we're diving deep into a story that's generating serious conversation across the tennis world, because an ex-Wimbledon semifinalist has stepped forward to identify a key mistake that Coco Gauff has recently made, and the analysis is sparking debate among fans, former players, and analysts alike as one of the brightest stars in modern tennis finds herself at a fascinating crossroads in her young but already historic career. Coco Gauff has never been an ordinary player. From the moment she burst onto the global stage as a fearless teenager, stunning veterans and handling the spotlight with maturity far beyond her years, the tennis world understood that something special was unfolding. Grand Slam titles, iconic wins, massive endorsement deals, and the pressure of being labeled the future of women's tennis all arrived early, and with that success came constant scrutiny. Every technical adjustment, every emotional reaction, and every strategic choice is now magnified, dissected, and debated. It is within that intense spotlight that a former Wimbledon semi-finalist has identified what they believe is a recent misstep in Gauff's approach, one that could quietly impact her consistency at the highest level if left unaddressed. According to the former Wimbledon standout, the issue is not rooted in talent, athleticism, or work ethic, because Gauff possesses all three in abundance. Instead, the concern lies in decision-making during critical moments, particularly her tendency to overcomplicate her game when pressure rises. The ex-semi-finalist explained that Coco's greatest strength has always been her clarity, clear patterns, clear intentions, and a fearless commitment to her shots. Recently, however, there have been matches where that clarity appears to blur, especially against elite opponents who can absorb pace and extend rallies. Rather than trusting the simple, aggressive structures that brought her success, Gauff has occasionally drifted into hesitation, second-guessing, and unnecessary tactical shifts. This observation resonates deeply with longtime tennis watchers. Gauff's rise was fueled by her willingness to play bold tennis, to attack when the moment demanded it, and to accept errors as part of growth. But as expectations grow, the margin for error feels smaller, and the temptation to play perfect tennis can creep in. The ex-Wimbledon semi-finalist emphasized that this mental shift, trying not to lose instead of committing to winning, can subtly change shot selection, footwork, and even body language. When a player as powerful and athletic as Gauff hesitates, even for a split second, opponents sense it immediately. The analysis pointed specifically to her baseline patterns. Gauff's heavy topspin forehand and explosive backhand have been weapons, especially when she dictates rallies early. But in recent outings, there have been moments where she retreats too far behind the baseline, allowing opponents to control the tempo. The former Wimbledon semi-finalist noted that while defensive skills are important, Gauff's game is not built around passive retrieval. Her strengths lie in taking time away, stepping inside the court, and applying pressure. When she abandons that identity, even briefly, she gives opponents an opening they otherwise wouldn't have. Another aspect highlighted was serve strategy. Coco's serve has improved significantly over the years, becoming more reliable and versatile, but the ex-player suggested that she sometimes plays too safely on crucial points. Rather than trusting her placement and power, she opts for conservative serves that allow aggressive returners to step in. At the elite level, those small choices can swing entire matches. The critique was not harsh, but thoughtful, pointing out that belief in one's weapons is essential, especially for a player who has already proven she can handle the biggest stages. What makes this critique especially compelling is that it comes from someone who has experienced the unique pressure of Wimbledon's latter rounds. The former semi-finalist spoke about how grass-court success, in particular, requires commitment. There is no room for half decisions on fast surfaces, and that lesson translates to all courts. They explained that young stars often reach a phase where external expectations start influencing internal instincts, and navigating that phase is one of the hardest challenges in professional tennis. Coco Gauff's journey has been anything but linear. She has handled fame with grace, used her platform responsibly, and continuously sought improvement. Yet tennis history is filled with stories of prodigies who had to recalibrate their approach once the tour fully adapted to them. Opponents now study Gauff in detail, preparing specific game plans to exploit even minor vulnerabilities. The ex-Wimbledon semifinalist stressed that this is not a sign of decline, but rather a natural evolution. The real question is how quickly a player recognizes these patterns and adjusts. The commentary also touched on emotional management. Gauff is known for her passion and competitive fire, qualities that have fueled many comebacks. However, the former player suggested that channeling that emotion effectively is crucial. There have been moments where frustration has lingered longer than necessary, subtly affecting focus in the next game or set. At the highest level, emotional recovery between points is just as important as physical recovery between matches. Fans, of course, are divided. Some argue that Coco is simply experimenting, expanding her tactical range to become a more complete player. Others believe that her best tennis still comes when she simplifies, trusting her instincts rather than overanalyzing. The beauty of this debate is that it reflects how high the standards are for Gauff. She is no longer viewed as a promising teenager, but as a benchmark for excellence on the WTA Tour. The former Wimbledon semi-finalists concluded their analysis with optimism. They emphasized that the identified mistake is entirely fixable and, in fact, often precedes a major leap forward. Many champions have faced similar moments, where subtle adjustments in mindset and strategy unlocked new levels of consistency. For Gauff, the solution lies not in reinventing herself, but in reaffirming her identity, playing proactive tennis, trusting her training, and embracing the pressure rather than fearing it. As the season progresses, all eyes will be on how Coco responds. Will she recommit to the aggressive patterns that made her a Grand Slam champion? Will she sharpen her decision-making on big points and reassert control against top rivals? Tennis fans know that greatness is not defined by avoiding mistakes, but by learning from them. Coco Gauff has already shown remarkable resilience and intelligence throughout her career, and this latest critique may serve as a valuable checkpoint rather than a setback. In the broader context of women's tennis, Gauff's evolution is part of a larger narrative. The tour is deeper, faster, and more competitive than ever. Young stars are arriving fearless, while established champions continue to raise the bar. In this environment, even the smallest tactical misstep can have outsized consequences. Yet it is precisely this challenge that makes Coco's journey so compelling to watch. For now, the words of an ex-Wimbledon semi-finalist serve as both a warning and a vote of confidence. The mistake identified is not a flaw in ability, but a momentary drift from what makes Coco Gauff special. If history is any guide, players of her caliber tend to respond not by retreating, but by evolving. And if she does, the next chapter of her career could be even more dominant than the last. That's the story everyone is watching unfold, right here on Trending Update USA. This is Steffan, and we'll continue to bring you the biggest insights, the sharpest analysis, and the stories that matter most in the world of tennis.